This meeting for September the 6th, 2022 is now in session. All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to this evening's meeting. A little ethics from on the board. If you need to step down, please step down and recuse yourself. Let's act in an ethical manner, whether you like it or not. Let's do our invocation. Who wants to do that? Right ahead.
You bow your head if you feel so led. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for this day and this opportunity, Lord, to come before our people and make this place a better place than we found it, Lord. Thank you for this opportunity to work together, and I pray that you would just guide our decisions, guide our mouths, guide our hearts, Lord Jesus. Please help us to do everything to edify your kingdom, Lord, and to edify this town as you have it be. Lord, I plead your blood over this meeting and everyone sitting here. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Let's song our phones and gadgets. Do our pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Additions or changes to the agenda? Does anybody have any add-ons? Make sure I see.
Was that a typo, or are you supposed to be?
Well, and actually, because of last minute, Christy's not here, one of those will be dropped off.
Okay.
And because of a conversation with Gerald, do we need to conversate about what we were just talking about?
We may need, well, we have it down in closed session, I'd say that's probably where we need to do something.
Okay. Yeah, and both, the changes to the agenda, because Christy's not here, I won't be able to do that one, and then the second one, because of the conversation with Seth and Gerald, we'll just, let it be held in, closed session. Okay.
Strike out A and B?
Yep, A and B.
Okay.
All right, moving on to J. Mack and Associates.
We have to adopt the agenda first.
I'll make a motion this time that we adopt the agenda,
Have a
revised
motion.
agenda.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye. Christie?
Aye, sorry, it was over you.
Okay. All right, it's carried. Mr. Hedrick? Mr. Hedrick is not here. I know he was coming before the board. I'll go ahead and tell the board he is not happy about our new panhandling. He is in fact the panhandler. So he does not appreciate our new ordinance not allowing panhandling. Well, he's not here, so I guess we won't have to worry about it. Ms. Stair, come on up there. Is it Alina or?
Alina.
Alina.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we spoke earlier, and,
Yep.
and I've been in here before,
Yep.
to ask specifically for a stop sign at the end of Shady Street,
Yep.
just to help control and slow down, some of the traffic. I'm just concerned, you know, that we already have a lot of traffic, and
Yep.
it's just kind of starting up, and, seeing it, you know, going forward, looking like there's gonna be lots of big events and even more, and, we have lots of traffic through there, through that.
And I did ride out there after we spoke and, tracked down Mr. Nelson, and, Mr. Nelson is still, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, feel free to jump in here at any time. We're still tracking, just trying to get everything set up, and once it gets set up, we're gonna start. And also, so you'll know, Jennifer and I started working with dispatch on changing the address. If you Google it, it comes back to your street.
Right.
And I even called him again after I talked to him, I called him and said, look, you gotta do something.
Yeah, I don't know who to talk to.
She would, well, the 911 dispatch, whoever who does
Okay.
that, but she said she would come out tomorrow. And something about you take your phone, and I tried. but
Well, we
I-
did, well, here's
And
another.
you have to log it in and add.
She did a lost business. I didn't know you could do a lost business. And when you do a lost business, Google has to respond. And when they respond in her, I think in her comments, she's gonna say it actually needs to come off the highway at the 322.
Yeah,
Right, 'cause
322 Willowbrook Loop.
It's
I really
saying
think-
400 Shady Street right now, which I think puts it at the corner house that's
It
up
does.
next to my house.
It does, it puts it
Yeah.
that street, and we're trying to get it switched. But, I mean, we've had them out there, and they've done that, I was on AFP, and they put it on GPS. I don't know why it's not switched.
Have you talked to Anna at the chamber yet and given her the 322?
Yes, yes,
She can really help with that.
we met with her last week, but the lady that's over the 911 addresses is supposed to come out tomorrow.
Okay.
And she said there was some way that she could take something and go to Google and it would add that address.
Gotcha.
And, I mean, that's why I spent
Oh, you
$40,000.
have that beautiful entrance
For
and
a
no one's
culvert,
using it.
for a culvert just to get across the creek, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't spend all that money for them to come down Shady Street or White Street or whatever it is.
Yeah, I believe it.
So I'd 10 times rather have them come in and out. In another few months, that back entrance will probably be blocked.
That's what I was wondering, is if you were
Yeah,
planning
oh,
on.
I'm planning on blocking it, but
Okay.
as of while we're under construction,
Right.
trying to finish the spots, you've got no choice.
Right, absolutely. What's the
And-
plan where each of those spots that comes through to White Street, will
Well,
that
White
back into
Street-
that be blocked
White
off?
Street's actually 15 feet over farther than where it comes into, because I paved and widened
Gotcha.
White Street over. It's widened down through there. If you notice where they stop, is where I stop widening, where they
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
go through the,
Yeah, they
the
don't go
first
through.
5 or 6
Uh-huh.
are pulled through.
Right,
Well, then I couldn't get permission to widen straight on them because I had to widen it.
Gotcha.
But,
that won't be blocked off, so what's gonna stop it from being just where they can?
well, they can
come
come,
straight through?
I'll have it where they can come around and come into there.
Gotcha.
They'll be coming in, and they shouldn't be going in and out that street.
Gotcha, cause that's all they're doing is coming and going.
And people's constantly going, how do you get in? How do you get out? I mean, I'm.
And you've got that big, you
Go right, the quick shop, first big entrance on the left. I mean, I'm trying to get them in that way, but once we get it on the.
well, and also, like all your, trucks and equipment and stuff, it looks like you're using it as equipment, or do you plan to route them out that other entrance? or
That ain't equipment, you know, that's what I use to work at.
Just over there?
Yeah, that's my equipment.
We just see a lot of coming and going of it, and I was wondering,
You don't see my equipment coming in our much.
with big trucks and sometimes trailers.
Now,
but-
dump trucks, if we're hauling
Yeah.
gravel.
Yeah.
Loop.
Right, ladies.
Sorry.
It's like they're one doing.
Yeah.
And I appreciate it.
All right,
No, it's not, no, don't mind. I just know Mike and he won't shut up. Okay, Mike, we're good,
As far as I
still
know.
tracking? Can you ask your employees, I know it's just a couple of them, to go around through the front, just to slow it down, people coming in and out of there? You don't mind?
I do, but I'll ask them.
You don't mind? It looks very good, I did right out there. Did you get your questions answered? And
I
you need a
still
stop sign.
would like a stop sign coming in and out of there at the end, just because there isn't one, and it seems like it'd be a good idea.
Jill, will you add that to our sign list that we are trying to get signs in?
We've just got a lot of little kids, especially now, cause you've got families right there, and they all kind of play together.
I
and
just
they're
about
all-
took out a little Shih Tzu dog coming through there, and I was going slow trying to see, he ran and shot out in front of me, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah, Jamie knows too.
thank you, Elaine.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this is, the flower bill. Jessica,
Yeah.
would you like to address this flower bill? It's got you so buzzed up for whatever reason?
Okay, so, I can pass it around, if everybody would like to see. We were well, I guess I'll go back. Derek had asked us back in, I guess, the beginning of the summer, what color flowers we wanted. And we said we wanted red, blue, or red, purple, and white. So, the next Monday we come in, we have these pink and white baskets hanging up. Didn't know where they come from, didn't know nothing. This morning, when I came back from vacation, I have this lovely $800 invoice from Secret Garden Nursery,
Does anybody know who they are?
Never heard them.
where
You know
apparently
them?
5 hanging baskets for 2021 and 2022. I'm just curious,
Where are they from?
they're from Banner Elk.
Well, she's over in Banner right now, she was up over on Jonas Ridge for a while.
Is she the one in Memphis? No, that's
No, she's up on Banner Elk, just past Lowe's, on the right, as you pass Lowe's, she's right there, but, She's been in business for quite a while.
I just feel like it's a lot of money to pay for flowers and nobody knows who told them that we wanted it. So, I mean, I know I wasn't here, well, I probably wasn't here for either one of these, but I can't go back to see where anybody told them, hey, we want these.
Didn't they tell you who ordered it?
I'll have to call them. But I was just wanted to come and ask you guys if you knew who approved this before
I have no idea.
These are the same folks when they were at Jones Trees, that supplied the flowers and stuff for us. And for some reason, they closed at Jones Trees and moved to Manorel, whatever, but that was the same folks that we used to get flowers from. And they would come and plant them, they would give them a sign, you know. But that's been 3 or 4 years ago. That was the folks we used back then.
Yeah, she had some challenges at the other location, and so she ended up moving over here to Vanderbilt.
Right. Anyway, that's,
Call them and ask them who.
Find out who authorized that.
somebody had to order.
Right.
Yeah.
Alright, I just wanted to check with you guys first.
In the
before I-
past, our former town clerk did the ordering, so maybe, I don't know if it was a standing order or whatever, but Tammy would take care of that when she was, that's all I knew, that's been 3 or 4 years ago.
Okay.
Mine for Cleveland High School aren't that big, but, you know.
Definitely not that
I mean,
expensive.
that's to supply some for $12 a pop.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Mr. Gittner? Please state your name and your first.
Do I need to give my inmate number to sir?
Yes.
Nathan Gittner, 243, blah, blah, blah. Mr. Mayor, ladies and gentlemen, City Council, appreciate the opportunity to talk for a few minutes. Before I get on my formal side, I need to tell you thank you. This experience has been phenomenal, and I'm gonna do this with a straight face, and I'm not gonna give it the due that it is worth. The last 2 weekends, we've been at 100% 3 nights in a row. Tonight, we're at 90. That's rare, but every week, but we are. I get personal emails from people. I had an email on Monday or Sunday, for me, about somebody who stayed there in 1948 as a baby, and they wanted to know what happened. I mean, that's before this was built. I mean, that was built in 55. It's been a phenomenal experience. Last weekend, I got interviewed by Country Mountain Life. They're actually doing a profile on us. And they said, well, you know, what are the secrets? You know, so why is it working so well? And, you know, and I said, well, there are 4 things. I said, first of all, you know, absolutely. You know, second of all, you know, it's hard work. Third, we have great employees. We have a great team. We're not struggling with employee problems.
You're the only person in America. Yeah.
I mean, great, phenomenal, they're passionate, and for it. You know, and I told them this, I'm not sure if this will make the article, it was a 2-hour interview for a 400-word article. I was like, I'm convinced, you know, the part of the reason we're doing so well is because of the town of Newton, and because of the endorsement and the strong support that we're getting, and I believe passionate, I told them this, I believe passionate, this starts and emanates from here, and it works down. Thank you. On behalf of myself, my wife, children, well, thank you.
And you're experiencing the same thing, right, Mike? You got a lot of campers out there, right?
Yeah. And how many votes do I get?
None.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I did ask to speak tonight. I would like to talk about something that may be a little difficult, but I want to at least have a conversation about it. I would like to formally request that the city of Newland consider putting on the ballot in November a referendum about liquor by the drink within the city of Newland. Couple of things. a few things about it, and I wrote some notes on it, and I apologize about looking at my notes and not. First of all, we are one of only 2 municipalities in Avery County that don't have liquor by the drink.
You know what's up for?
Alcohol, yes, sir. Yeah, those buildings. I've kind of looked at this and I've researched this, and I really have looked at this. First of all, I'm an engineer, so the critical looking at it logically can't get out of my mind. My wife hates that about me. But I really have tried to look at this, and this is just, out there, is that I really honestly believe it would add, some cachet, it would draw a wider visitor guest base, and give people a reason to come here, to do it. 2 weeks ago, and this is actually kind of a sad story. 2 weeks ago, I went to an Avery County Chamber of Commerce event, and I usually don't go to this. My wife is. Susanna has much more personality than I do. And I went there, and we had our name tags on, and we, they wanted so much, so said my name and the end. And they were like, the end, what's that? It's like, well, we're Shady Lawn. It was scary how many people said, oh yeah. They did not know who Shady Lawn was. I'm telling you, the Avery County Chamber of Commerce is that corridor, Beach Mountain, Banner Elk, Tyne Castle, Fossil. That's that corridor. They don't know anything about it. They don't.
And typically, that chamber hasn't cared.
And that's a shame, and we need to change that, because I'm pushing a lot of that. I gotta tell you, I really grieve. I'm like, seriously? You don't know? I mean, Newland has so many things. We have things, we have some things that other people have and other people don't have. I was shocked. Sorry, I know this, I was shocked. They really tried to cover this. They had no clue who Shady Lawn was.
I guess the next step is they need to do a resolution telling the town.
Well, if the town, if the board says that they want to go forward with the referendum, we just get a resolution, tonight you could vote for that, and I'll just craft it in the morning and have you sign it.
And then just let
And
the town vote.
then we'll draft the referendum, we'll send it to the Board of Elections, they'll add it to the ballot. And then, they, by statute, they're the ones who do the advertising, and the advertising has to be more than 45 days.
Who is they now? I just missed
The
that.
County Board of Elections.
Okay.
The advertising for the referendum has to be more than 45 days, prior to the election, we have that time.
We do that now.
Yeah, we've got about a week to spare on that, so we've got some time.
I hate to pour water on this, but when the town voted in beer and wine, wanted liquor by the drink, and the history of it is that Rufus Henley was a board member, was an alderman, and he'd only vote for that. It was on the table to have, liquor by the drink too, in an ABC store, okay? And that was all that he'd go for, and so it was approved and it went forward. The thing that happened in interim, I can't tell you when, and I can't tell you exactly chapter and verse. My understanding of the law is this: you've got to now have a town with a population of 5,000 people, or you have to have an existing ABC board ask you to join them, which would mean we're clearly not a town with 5,000 people. We might have to, but
Yes, sir.
we have to have the regional,
High country.
the high country to invite us to be part of it before we could, I think, have it on the referendum to do it. But I don't think that we can get an ABC, number one, you gotta have an ABC store. You have to have an ABC? I think you gotta have an ABC store. And you can't get an ABC store unless you got 5,000 people. Yeah, cause you get your liquor from the ABC store. From the ABC store. Yeah.
But, I'm sorry, I'm just trying to say, but Beach Mountain doesn't have an ABC store. They're not part owners of the ABC store over there in Tyne Castle.
I think they are.
It's Fosco, it's Fosco Sugar and Banner Elk.
Okay.
So, it's on three ways,
Okay.
yes.
That.
That I don't know the other
I
part.
think they had it, they don't have, they, I think, started it, they were the first place to get liquor by the drink, weren't they? Yeah. This was
They brought it up
30 years ago
They brought
or
it
more.
up.
Yeah, yeah. So it predated it. I'm afraid that my understanding of the law is we can't vote by referendum and get an ABC store and have liquor by the drink on our own. The only avenue we have is to get them to think it's in their best interest to have us to join it. That it's gonna make them some money. And I think you can make a pretty good argument, money-wise, that it probably is in their best interest, because we can get business more business from this end of the county. They won't go to Spruce Pine. Tennessee comes up, you can make a pretty good argument that it would. The issue is, can we do it, even if we can do it, you know, I don't think we can do it just on our own, but, we'd have to be able to, convince the high country folks that it's in their best interest,
I would never call an attorney who shuts down liquor by the drink.
well, especially in this attorney. Well, we could go to all that trouble and ABC board would then say, sorry about your luck, guys.
So do we need to
But
go,
you can't do it.
do we need to go talk to them first?
I think so. I think you gotta get them on board before we can have that referendum. Now, I can double check, that's what we've been told. And I know my wife, who was an alderman, looked into it a lot. She was very interested in trying to see if they could do it. And she was told that you could do it. And that's my understanding of why. But I can certainly go back behind and check that, to be sure I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay, and sometimes the easiest way to do, honestly, is just call the ABC board down in Raleigh, and they'll tell you, you know, just ask them. They're pretty doggone helpful too, but, yeah, I don't believe we can just up and do it.
Then,
So it's,
if I can,
I'll try to get you a concrete answer. In general terms, I'm pretty sure I'm right, but I wouldn't absolutely swear to it. I think you're right, too. Yeah.
yeah, well, you know,
They tried it before.
close is, you know, in the neighborhood is, everybody's over close. Yeah, if you're close, then yes. So then the answer would be is that if this is something that we'd like to do, we would have to get all of this addressed in the next 10-ish days and get them to approve it.
Yeah.
Does anybody know if Sarah's still the lady in charge over
She's
there?
not, she's retired.
Yeah, Sarah retired.
I looked at the names today and I didn't see a Sarah.
Yeah, Sarah, yeah, she's not, but, I don't know who is now. But I can try and find out with, and another thing I'm trying to think is, do we need it to be, I think we might be able to get it just on a special date. I'm not for sure. That seems like we had it on a date before that wasn't connected to.
Well, there's always the March elections too.
I know, and
Yeah.
Newland doesn't need to spend money to have an election just about one issue. No, there's better ways, you know. I would not ask them. I would
Yeah.
actually ask the opposite. Please don't have a special.
I'll try to get, but number one, we need to have the right information.
Okay.
But I think that's where I'm pretty sure that's where we're at. And it's anti-intuitive, you wouldn't know that, you know, just, they just tweak around stuff, just too.
What, the state legislature messes with stuff?
Yeah.
Shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked.
And they're in session right now, so hold your wallets, everything, they're in session right now.
Ladies and gentlemen of the city council, I am sorry that I bothered you. It sounds like that we have more homework and more research to do. I truly thought we had our i's dotted and our t's crossed. I will take it on as my apologies for not having everything
But
ready.
Nate, let's maybe get together later, we'll go and talk.
Okay, we will absolutely. I go back to my previous state, my first state, oh, thank you for letting me talk and letting me answer. I go back to my first statement, thank you, personally, for making a difference.
Thank
So,
you.
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Thank you.
Okay, let's move to the approval of the minutes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August meeting.
Have a motion to have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Christie?
Aye.
All right,
Aye,
you're
yeah.
approved. All right. Public comments. There's an opportunity for people not on the agenda to address the council. Go ahead, Ms. Blair.
Sorry, I'm a little late.
You're fine.
What I wanna talk about is the $3 million that the state got, the county of Newland got for water,
Right.
okay? And I haven't seen the minutes of the August meeting and what you all decided to do. Well, I'm here to say, are you going to use that $3 million for water only? Or you got other plans? I think I saw on the minutes in July, you had some other plans, and I don't have the copy because I didn't get home in time to get it.
We can only use that to pay off stuff with water and sewer. We're gonna pay
Now,
off
are
the
you
sewer.
sure
first.
about that?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
doing.
I want to ask the attorney. If it was for water, $3 million for water, does it have to be used for water only?
And sewage, yes.
Is
Well-
that, I'd like to see that in writing.
I haven't seen that, I have not seen the act, so I can't tell you.
Okay. Well, something you need to all think about, because we don't want this money going here, there, and everywhere.
Oh,
You
let's,
know, it's
let's,
$3 million, and we're very fortunate to have it.
trust me.
So I don't see you all wasting that money.
Yeah, it was asked for 3 reasons, and those 3 reasons are what it was gonna go for. It's all water and septic, or water and
Okay,
sewage.
I want to see that in writing,
Okay, we'll get it for you.
okay?
I've got a little text message of it, but you can't read it very well, but we'll get it for
Okay,
you.
I want to be sure that money's not going for something else. I'm taxpaying.
Yeah.
I want to know,
Yeah, completely agree, completely understand.
well, that's all I have to say.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
I'm just checking to see what you come up with on that.
I want to get together with you and all the board members. You're often come pick us up in the bus.
Sure.
I would like for us to have one of y'all special meetings and go out to Mike's campground where this amphitheater is gonna go. Ms. Gail, would you be amenable to that? at some point? Ms. Christie? Good morning, Christie. Okay, Lauren? Kenny? Sheriff's Ruth, invite you.
And Derek come out with each other.
Yeah, right.
Hey.
And that's only fair.
It's only fair.
Okay.
It'll be a pizza from the cruise through, but, hey,
Better than nothing.
let's try and get that done in the next week, 10 days, and get that.
Tell me when, I'll be there.
Alright, let's see.
We needed, of course, and I'm sure our managers will put the notice for special meeting.
Yes.
And then across the county.
Yeah, we have a sticker.
Either there, you gotta do it about like Noah's Ark and do it 2 by 2 by 2, so.
Mr. Hedrick, I take it you're usually here for the relay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I can't actually see you.
Come on around, brother, you're fine.
Don't mind?
No, go ahead, you're
God
fine.
bless you, thank you. Yes, my name is Robert Henry. I don't know if you're all familiar with what I am. I don't have legs. I've been a job for a very, very long time. We county, Pittsburgh, everything. I cannot find a job. I have 2 sons. I raised them by myself. They still live with me, no, they do not. That's other. But I personally, I have no other choice, even if my sons weren't there, I have no other choice but to make a living. I do not get welfare in any way, shape, or form. I do not get HUD in any way, shape, or form. I get Social Security, that's it. I'm sure you all are very aware of how inflation has impacted everything, and it's really hit me pretty hard. And apparently, and I'm not saying this was an ordinance against me personally, but it kind of feels like it is, because I don't know, I haven't seen too many people like me out there doing what I do, at least trying. And not only that, I meant to bring my sign, because, you know, it does say it need help, prayer, first and foremost. God bless, that's all it says. The other side is for me. I always put a Bible verse on there, or something just to remind me who I am and who made me, this man. And I kind of feel like the town ordinance has actually said no to you, and I don't know why, because I don't know how else to make it. I mean, I'm not out robbing, stealing, and selling drugs and doing drugs. I'm not doing that.
Where do you live, Mr. Edgar?
Well, I actually live in Mitchell County,
Whereabouts?
up right behind the old Boyd Sea.
How do you get up here?
I usually either do this at the end of my road or catch a ride with one of the boys. And I don't just do this here, I do it in Yancey County as well. So we all.
Why don't you do it in Mitchell County?
Because of my sons.
Okay.
They went to school there, I don't want the backlash from it.
Okay.
And it's worked perfectly fine for the last 5, maybe 6 years. But then I came out here one day and Officer Beam was out there. And he told me, he said, I'm sorry, but they put a city town ordinance up. And I'm sorry, I don't know what else to do. I definitely don't want to start crying right now.
Yeah.
I mean, if you all throw me out here, what am I supposed to do? I'm not gonna get on government assistance. I'm trying to stay off of that, so you guys, the taxpayers, don't have to pay that.
Right, right.
Why can't I do it on my own? So I feel like I'm being shunned as I try to do it on my own. Now, what good is that for whoever's done this ordinance? What good is that when I try? I mean, I understand there's passerby as they go and they do it, they do it for a minute or two. I sit out there for hours, 4, 5, 6 hours. And not only that, I preach, I minister, I am a witness to God. That is my first and foremost, okay? Because he's the one who gave me this. He's the one who told me to shout out his name. And that's what I do. And I kind of wonder why you all are pushing me away.
Anyone? I don't necessarily think the town ordinance was specifically meant for Mr. Edgar.
Maybe not,
Yeah.
maybe not, but I kind of, because it is just here in the city of Newton.
Town Newland, correct. And you take advantage of the town Newland because the Ingalls has a lot of people that come through there, is that why?
No, I just try to find a place, I don't try to take advantage of anything.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But I just try to find a place where it's solstice and comforting and, you know, good for, you know, my soul and, you know, of course, Bill. So, I mean, I just kind of wonder why.
I think it just came down to the good old adage that the town just didn't want panhandling. If you wanna do, you know, what's the permitting thing that I disagree with? Where everybody gets out and asks for money for the fire
I
department.
didn't ask for money, I don't ask for
Solicited.
money.
Solicited.
I don't ask for money.
Thank you, Gerald.
I never once asked anybody for money.
So you're just up here preaching? I don't think
No,
I
I'm
was gonna
asking
stop.
for, no, I meant to bring my sign, it always says, in need of help and prayer. That's all it says, it never says anything.
You accept money?
I accept help.
So if you accept money, okay, here's my thing. The town board was getting complaints about it and all that, and I'm just gonna tell you how it is. You're not gonna change my opinion on that ordinance. Alright? And, I mean, I'm not trying to be mean or whatever, but I mean, you sit here and said I wouldn't even do it in my own county.
Well, no, that's only because my son's in this with the kids.
Okay, yeah, well, I understand that.
I think that's very understandable.
Are you an ordained minister? You told me you were a minister, didn't you?
No, I didn't say I was a
No, he
minister.
never said it.
See,
He's
Yeah.
not preaching, yeah,
No, no, I just witnessed for the Lord, I testified.
How old are your sons?
20 and 23.
The unfortunate fact, Mr. Hedrick, is it's an ordinance the town decided they need to put in, and they put it in, and we're gonna abide by it. And yes, we were getting multiple complaints, and I think the other complaint was, or other question was at what point do we start getting other, folks doing nefarious things in the town? Apparently we're dealing with something over behind the barbecue place that I didn't know was going on. We're going to do some streetlights or something over there, which has nothing to do with your situation. However, it's just something that the town's getting a lot of complaints on, and the police department was getting complaints, and the police department didn't have anything to act upon. And you feel like it was directed at you. I'm sure it wasn't directly at you. And that's kinda it. My question, like what Alderman Johnson's saying is why would you come from Mitchell County up here, whether it's thumbing, however, are the people in Newland just nicer than the people in Mitchell County?
Yes, it's a very biblical town. It's a very, very.
I'd like to read that sometime.
Have you been to other towns?
I have, I've been to Yancey County,
Have you been to Banner Hill?
there's nowhere to go up
Well, they have an ordinance, I'm sure, for Banner, correct?
there. Well, they do in Marion, I'm not sure about Tannerell, but I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. I think at any town that you're gonna.
Boone, they know.
Boone doesn't have Panhandle?
They do, they can only do it on the outside of that.
Yeah.
That's why you see them at, what is that, the 321 bypass?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was kinda useless.
Yeah, listen, I get it, brother, I see what you're saying, I see what your plight is, I don't understand why you're not getting some sort of government assistance, if there's
Cause
ever.
I don't want it. I want
And
to do it on
I
my own.
applaud you for the hubris of that, but that's, denying.
If I'm able to do it on my own, why can't I do it on my own?
But Mr. Hedrick, this is not the way to do it.
I don't know. I mean, any of y'all wanna offer me a job? Anybody?
You kinda have to, yeah.
And it's like that every day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe you need to be in my shoes, no pun intended, but maybe you need to be there.
Yeah.
I mean, would you give up on yourself? Would you give up on your family?
I would take the assistance if it was there.
But there's no assistance.
There's government assistance for.
Very, very little, sir. I get, no, sir. Sir, there's very little.
Sir, it comes down to this, I agree with the gentleman here, it's unfortunate.
Well, I had to come, I had to try.
It was not directed at you personally,
I understand.
but with the complaints from citizens of the town, going to the police department, we're obligated to look after the town of Newell.
Absolutely.
And the citizens there, and answer to their questions and what they want. That's what we're doing. This is, I feel, situation that you're in, but, there's other ways, I think, to resolve it other than the citizens of town of Newell resolving the problem.
Well, I
It
mean,
won't change nothing.
one last thing.
Do it.
Isn't the citizens of New Orleans changing everybody's lives? I mean, the restaurants, the stores, are they putting it back into the people? I'm only one person. I'm only one person.
Yes.
But, I'm not gonna battle you guys, cause I know I'm gonna lose anyhow, but I had to show up and ask.
And I applaud you for that.
Yeah, we
And,
appreciate
yeah,
it.
I mean, kudos to you. I totally get it. However, there are people out there that very Christian-like and very, have everything that you wanna say, it's all the nice accolades, but they will literally go out the other side so they don't have to drive past you, cause they feel bad for you, but they also don't wanna be handing money out the window or handing food out the window. I'm the guy that will hand you a Subway sandwich.
Well, I'm sure you are, but I see people go like this
Yeah.
when they drive on you.
And I think that's what causes the complaints. It's just an uncomfortable situation. And your condition, your situation is, it's not easy for you, and we get that. But the issue right now is the town is deciding on this, and this is what they're gonna do, and you're correct, they're not gonna change it. I know.
Is there any kind of like, something I can get, like a certificate saying it's okay? pay?
No,
No,
no.
Not unless you're part of like the VFW or DAV or one of those outfits or fire department, something like that.
and that would require insurance,
Yeah.
permits, and a permit for every day you're gonna use, it's gonna cost you money. Insurance.
Money I ain't got, darn sure.
But it's, well, I do appreciate you coming.
All right, well, I wanna tell you all something, Jesus loves everyone.
Thank you.
God bless you, and I came because I had to. So,
Thank you.
God bless you all, and God bless everybody in the audience.
Thank you.
Nick, would you grab that door for me?
I got it.
Very independent.
Finance officer report. State your name, who you're with.
And just Canada, I'm the finance officer in Orlando.
Okay.
Okay, so the account balances as of 8/31. In our general fund, it was 594,128, our revenue was 149,303, and our expenses was 108,853. Our American Rescue Plan, which you see, we got our other half in, so it sits at 218,637. Our PAL bill fund is $28,221, which we have applied for this year's, we just haven't gotten it in yet. Water sewer fund is at $14,951. The drug fund is at $3,589. The, National Bank Public Funds Money Market is at $307,529 with an interest increase last month of $479. The Capital Management Trust General Fund is $357,061 with an interest increase of $647. And the Trust Water Sewer Fund is $205,815 with an interest increase of $373. And also, I got a letter, I'm gonna just pass it around and let everybody look at it, but it's from Dillon Elementary School. And they're doing a fall festival and they're asking for a donation, so it's like a silent auction or a donation. And it's to help, yeah, we could do that, but it's to send their fifth graders to, I think it says a trip to Charleston.
Can we get their fifth graders to go out and clean the gutters? We'll make a donation. Yeah.
I'll send that suggestion. I'll look at it later. But anyways, you guys look at that, let me know if you wanna send something over to them, and I think there is a deadline. I didn't look at it, I forgot. But anyways, they're asking for us. That's all I got.
A few t-shirts.
A few t-shirts, there you go.
Okay, that's administrator, the new TA, I would like to introduce Bill Bailey. Welcome on, Mr. Bailey, go ahead.
So, first full week, so I've been here, 3 days, if you don't count the 2 days from last night. Quite a bit going on, so doing some research on the referendum process and the liquor, I'll just pass that off to you. I think I might disagree with you, but, we're setting up YouTube, using the equipment that we have. So next month, if all goes correctly, we'll be live. And in the next day or two, we'll have last month's and this month's board meetings up. Yes, we'll also be trying to use YouTube to actually transcribe the meetings, so help with minutes. So that should help. I've got a couple of requests in from board members. One is, B Street here, just making it one way. So, not that I can find, but it's simple. I mean, it's just signage. B Street. Yeah, this is B, West B, East B, and I can probably, my recommendation is just gonna be this little short block. I don't think it's gonna work if we go down there. I walked all the way down, all the way back. They have so much activity and so much heavy equipment coming up.
Yeah, I think all you can do is right between us and Bojangles.
Yeah.
Because we're parking out there.
Yes, so that, also had a request from citizens about the street, there's a gravel alley behind, back over, okay. Looking at the cost of repaving it, or actually paving it, it's gravel, because it handles heavy equipment. The citizen also asked that we one-way that street, so I'll get all that information together and come to you next meeting. The complaint is the big trucks are coming down the street to the east, and then they're actually, as they're making the turn, they're turning so wide, they're taking up utilities.
The big trucks are the yellow mountain trucks, right?
Yeah, it's unloading stuff there.
Yeah, well, it's also some of the trucks supplying restaurants right there, so it's just big trucks in general. So the request is that they one-way it from east to west and then pave it, so there's less maintenance on it. And those are kind of the big things. Did have a second or a third request for crossing lights.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry. For, crosswalk lights. Somebody saw me trying to cross the road the other day, and then somebody saw one of the clients from the Yellow Mountain trying to cross the road, and, thought it was kind of dangerous, cars aren't paying attention, that sort of thing. So, they asked what the process was to get crosswalk lights in, so I'm reaching out to DOT, that's because of their lights, and I'll see what that process is. They may require or ask for, just like a resolution or something from the town to support it. So, but I'll find out.
I've got an email from somebody, a meeting email thread from someone that I've been going back and forth with about that, and I've asked for the little button like you have in Boone for all little college kids that can't seem to negotiate the highway.
Yeah, they can't figure it out.
Right, but I've asked for that right there, from the bank to the county building, and then signs for the ducks. So I'll forward that to you.
Okay. The final thing is, we've had a couple of trips out here, trip and falls. So we came up with an idea of, like just taking the existing porch but installing ramps that meet ADA requirements, just kind of built into the existing porch. So minimum amount of impact. So Public Works is looking into that, we can do it in-house. Should have that kind of rolling around when it slows down a little bit. So they get out there and do it. They had to go out last week and cut grass, so that kind of delayed a little bit, but that should be coming along here in the next month or so.
I think that's a great idea.
So, okay, that's it.
Thank you, Bill.
Public Works, Gary.
Next is fire.
I'm sorry. Holy. Fire. Real quick about the drug fund, I talked to set things today.
You're important too.
And me and you are gonna get upset about some of those things we were talking about when we first came on. You remember how Gerald did us wrong in that one case? So anyhow, we're gonna get together with him about,
Are you here?
if you get somebody by the tail, not let them go. I just wanted to make you think of some questions.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I believe we overlooked something here. We have this thing on for a grant. Those folks were not able to show up because they were meeting with another town tonight.
The JMAC folks?
Yeah, but, we have had Mr. Coleman here, the representative, he was former town manager, and he's been dealing with these folks. He's got the information on it, and I believe he's here to represent him, and he was on the agenda. They sent him there for us.
What was that when I said the JMAC folks? Somebody blew it off.
No, you skipped over to somebody.
Come on up here, Mr. Hall.
But that's fine. I thought we'd pick it up later on.
You could.
I'm representing, it's actually McDaniel Associates, and they've applied a couple times for us for, this is a asset import assessment application. What this does is get your system ready for a grant you put in for it. It gets you ready for like a shovel-ready grant. It's $200,000 for your water and sewer, and, it really helps you out when you're ready, when you put in for the grants. I talked to Bill about it a little bit, and I think he's familiar with this, and he's done it with other towns, so. It's zero cost to the town, doesn't cost anything to apply for it, doesn't cost to install a match screen or anything.
Where's the money coming from? Is it federal, is it state?
It's federal.
We were a point away one time.
1 point, it's called 1 point.
Yeah.
And, it's opened up a lot more, there's a lot more money out there now, for this, actually a lot more got funded last year because of that. It wasn't put in for last year by the town, it skipped over, but they contacted me, asked me if I would represent that. I think it's a good idea, I wouldn't be here.
And Bill, you have the information?
Well, I've got the sketch information, and if you guys agree to this, then, we've just got a resolution, agree to go forward, that's the green light, the feds require, state actually requires it. It'll be administered through the state, through this contractor. And, you know, it is a really good program, I did this in Andrews, and it's great because we don't have any capital outlay. And as he said, it sets us up so that we can say, we need this, here's proof.
Gotcha.
I'll make a motion this time to allow Bill to move forward with the representing Mr. Boylan for the J. Mack and Associates.
Mac J and Associates.
Yeah, back to you.
Mac J, so we got.
Mack and Jane Associates. I'll make a motion.
We have a motion, do I have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a second, all those in favor say aye.
There's also discussion.
Uh,
I have a question.
Yeah.
Do we owe, an amount of any sort to the contractors? Zero. Okay, that's awesome.
That's what's so good about this, it's zero amount for everything.
Okay.
And it gets ready, that way, when you go out and put in for grant, they say, well, what do you need, and you say, here it is.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Instead, it could be here, say you have all your information ready.
The funds for the contractor come from the same source, we're not impacted by that.
Right.
Yeah, they only get paid if we get it.
That's good.
Who gets paid? Foreman and his back?
Mack and Jane Associates.
Jacob.
With the federal pay thing.
So what he'll be doing something to help Bill, right?
Mac J and Associates will apply for the grant, for the payment.
Bill will get all the information, pass it to, J. Mack and Associates.
Mac J.
Well, it says J. Mack on it.
Yay. Can you spell this for me? It doesn't bother me.
It says J. Mack, that's where
Just
I'm
made
at.
J. Mac.
It's Mac J.
Okay. But anyway, we got a motion, we got a second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Holy Chief.
All right, hopefully you found, police report from this. We're at a pretty busy moment again. One thing I want to point out is, all the full-time officers went to training this month with the DA's office on corporate preparedness, so hopefully we'll be doing better with the process of prosecuting. One thing I want to point out is I attached some bad news to the bank visit. We did not get the grant this year. GCC grant, it is pretty competitive, whatever reason I decided not to fund this. But I will be applying for another grant in November, and of course, by that time, we'll figure out some better way to, better stuff to try to grant.
You guess, I was reading it, Chief, you guess if somebody needs to go to this grant writing workshop,
I really don't know.
you go to them?
But it is my wife.
Okay.
It's, they're saying, I do. And I'd like to kind of leave it off on a more positive note, so I'd like to introduce you to Nathaniel Redford. He's in field training right now, and, hopefully we can get his paperwork submitted real quick and sworn in, Avery County boy, man. Yeah, I've got t-shirts.
Have we seen his birth certificate yet?
He was a pretty good rebounder back in his day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he played ball.
I didn't call him that.
He's still playing Pee Wee League ball. I mean,
Yeah, he's still playing Little League. But anyway,
Listen, let me and Mike know his first day we can work, and we'll get him.
welcome aboard.
Welcome aboard, Mr. Reaver. Please be careful. Does he have all, you got all his equipment he needs?
We're in that process of trying to figure out what, because I've got some stuff that he can use, but some stuff like, we'll get some stuff.
Okay. Welcome aboard, Mr. Reaver, Officer Reaver. All right, what's next?
been a busy month, for the half a month I've been here. We did 2 water connections and 1 sewer connection. We got the fire extinguishers checked for the annual, got those done.
Hey Gary, do you mind to come up here? You can't.
We got the fire extinguisher stuff done, the annual inspections, so we'll start checking those off monthly like they're supposed to be. We did mowing 5 times plus last Friday. We did the mowing down the side. We sprayed town hall on the 23rd for weeds. As everybody knows, the grinder was installed on 8/17 and the grinder was certified on 8/25. The guy came out and checked. We did not use the control panel that came with the new one. It was a plastic box. The box we had out there was a stainless box, it looked brand new. The certifier didn't have any problem with that because it was the same equipment, so everything hooked up the same. We did go back and put some gravel down on their road. There was a pretty big mud hole there before we ever got there, but we went back and smoothed that out and got all that straightened up. We were called twice to pick up brush, and then last Thursday, we cleaned the brush up across from the elementary school, which.
On that hill that's been out forever.
Yeah, that took 3 truckloads.
Where'd it come from?
It wasn't cut to length, it was all piled up different ways, so it took 3 truckloads, half a second to that. We're taking the 250 tomorrow to get the bed changed out on it, that'll take 2 days, so we should be able to pick it up Friday afternoon.
That's a turnkey deal, they'll jerk the bed off, put the new one on, and we're done.
Yeah. It's been, talking to Bill the other day, we usually put salt down, it's time to order our salt for the winter. He was talking about a new beet juice type stuff. The place that we get the salt from has what's called a sweet mix. It is supposed to be non-corrosive. It is supposed to work at 30 below 0 versus the 18 degrees that regular salt works. It is a little more pricey. For the same amount of tonnage that we would purchase, it's probably gonna be $1,000 more, but it says you'll use 30 to 40% less.
What's the refreeze time on it? Does it give that?
I can give you a copy of the paper I printed off the site. They don't give a lot of information, it just, it basically just tells you what it is. Like I said, it says you will, use a lot less. And it's more sticky, so it's not just gonna basically wash off when the rain comes, that it's not, you know, as the water melts, it's not just gonna wash away. But I like the idea that it's non-corrosive.
Is it liquid?
It's a pellet form.
That's it.
It's basically salt pellets, a different kind of salt pellets sprayed with the sweet sauce.
Is that what you'd rather use?
I'd at least like to try it. Like I said, you know, you see all these cars around here with salt corrosion on them. Be nice to maybe try something that's not corrosive.
Then I say go for it.
Okay.
I think he's pointing out the benefit, I think we should save money.
Yeah, I do too, with the 23rd.
Well, if it sticks better too, it's like we talked about, all these roads where the water runs across the road at night,
Yeah.
and there's an ice patch.
You need, just a suggestion, look and see what the refreeze time is on this, whenever you go with this freaky organic stuff that everybody wants to use.
Right.
The refreeze time is really short, so what happens is you throw it out there, it melts. With good old fashioned salt, it's gonna stay melted, because it turns into basically a big margarita. But this stuff right here, it'll refreeze really quickly, because the icing, if you will, it just dissipates too fast. Just a suggestion.
Yeah, I'm used to using beet juice out west, that we started using it in Boone, and the refreeze time was infinitely better than salt.
If they're using it in Boone, I suggest we not use it.
Yeah. Well, they're using beet juice, they're not using.
We're using beet juice, not, this is something new, and I actually like it better, but.
I'll check on the refreeze.
If you don't mind, just because I made that mistake with the state park out here, grandfather, kind of what the state wanted to, and.
Okay, I'll ask them, because we need to get our order in before
Yeah.
much longer. We have two roofs that need repair or replacement on two of the well pump houses. The one's right down the street here, the whole corner's fixing to fall off, so,
Is there anything else we can do with that building? Cause it's pretty unsightly. Can we put up like a privacy fence or
I guess we could.
does anybody else have?
Well, it's kinda in the hole.
Get that girl subject to flowers to death, right?
Yes.
I mean, $8,000, you wanna have a nice building.
Ours are free.
Yeah.
No, let's do something. It just looks awful.
Even if it were painted a neutral color, like the walls and things, like anything would help,
Anything
other than
would
that
do.
white, that is like printer paper white, is that what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
it's just awful.
Whatever, Mr. Gary.
Okay. I'm gonna get a quote to get the roof fixed first.
Yes.
So that's gonna cause a problem when we get water in there for winter.
Yes, yes.
The other thing,
Are we thinking metal roof, or does it matter?
Yeah, I think you ought to go with another
Is
roof.
it shingles, or does it matter? We don't.
it's not really shingles, it's a flat roof.
Okay.
So basically,
Oh.
yeah, but now you can go back with the TPO or the plastic type material that's, you just don't wanna stand on it when it's icy. So, the other thing, the other week, last week on Banner Hill, we dug 2 holes to find out what size piping was in there. That brings me to one thing, our little diagram or our city layout that shows where all the water and sewer and all those lines are, I'm not exactly sure how correct that is. Nothing we had at Banner Hill is correct. So, but to repair Banner Hill, we can't turn the water off right now. We were going to change out one of the bad pumps 3 weeks ago, and we couldn't turn the water off, so we didn't get to do that. But basically, it's gonna cost about $30,000 to repair everything that needs to be done at that one intersection. But if the other pump goes out, Banner Hill's not gonna have any water. So, it's something we gotta do. And lastly, everyone knows the Christmas lights are ordered. So hopefully, they said 4 to 6 weeks, so hopefully mid-October, we'll get a commenter and get those up.
Who puts up the flags, American flags, when those are put up? Does anybody know if they're gonna do it on September 11th this year?
Gary, I have a quick question. We bought new pumps a few years ago. We still have new pumps back here that needs to be installed, the digital pumps to save time on reading the meters.
Paintings are, I've had to read meters, like commercial.
We still have meters back here to install when we either change some out or if we put new ones.
Okay. I didn't know if everybody, all the residents have been upgraded to the digital meters yet.
I'll confirm with James tomorrow. I think most of them, I don't think there's very many that are not. I know one of the things on that other sheet, we did have to go back and reread 2 meters. One of them was not running and didn't show any errors in it, and I think the other one, they detected a leak on it. But there was also 2 leaks that were detected during the reads, that, we shut the water off and they were having people come fix those. But the new meters will show basically if it's a leak or a burst or it's got the lights in. But I'll ask James tomorrow how many of those are left, because there's probably a case and a half still on the table back here. We did get with Feeding Avery Families to find out exactly where they want their taps, and they're supposed to be paying hopefully this week, maybe get their taps running, because we get that done before the weather gets bad.
Yeah.
Anything else?
With your, is Iron Mountain the only contractor we deal with when it comes to this kind of stuff?
Iron Mountain seems to be the only one that will get back to you, and they are highly trusted in the work they do. I haven't seen them overly, they're apples to apples quote wise.
Okay.
And
That's what I'm
like I
sure.
said, they are highly trusted in the work they do. They're here when they tell you they'll be here, and
Did what you're supposed to do?
they jump in there to get it done, they're out of here. It's not dragging it out or anything like that. I understand your question.
Yeah.
But that seems to be where we're at with Iron Mountain right now. Because right now we've waited 3 weeks on a quote for a pump for down at the grind.
hold. We've got one quote, but we've waited 3 weeks, and the guy called back last week and said he lost his information, so we need new information.
Gotcha, okay.
Thank you, Derek.
All right.
All right, can I do a closed session?
Do we need to?
Yeah.
I believe we did.
I'll make a motion this time, we go to closed session.
Got a motion, second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Are you accusing yourself, Mr. Lane?
That's about me, I got to step out, and I was also told by several attorneys that she can't be in the open meeting.
That's no meeting.
Because of her
I
relation.
love it.
That's a good thing, Ms. Claire, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing well.
Good to see you.
I missed a couple meetings. And dog show up on the doorstep?
It sure did.
James is still here, he's still working.
We're gonna go with closed session. It's probably a good idea.
It keeps James in the back.
Certainly, I don't think you should vote.
It's my husband.
You know, it would probably be best if just the town board members, if you find this, not be addressed during this closed session. They're not, the board has not authorized that to happen, so.
So let me get this straight, the board authorized to pay Butch Hughes $1,001.28 less $180, is that correct? The answer is no,
Well, there
Jerry.
was a judgment signed by a judge. Clearly,
Clearly,
I mean, clearly.
he's not the town attorney.
Signed that order.
Let me ask you a question, since you have a law enforcement background, if the plaintiff is the town of Newland, where should the money have gone?
Where, what?
If the town of Newland was the plaintiff, where should the check have gone? And this is not up for argument, I've already spoken to folks that are gonna be asking this exact question, like tomorrow.
Well, I can ask that question there.
I'm asking you right now, Christie, okay, Christie, while I've got you on the phone, Christie, who authorized your dad to do that? Who authorized you?
I make a motion, we adjourn this meeting. and let the
Second.
attorneys handle this.
But Ms. Gill, how would you go about getting your money back?
I don't know, but I wouldn't sit in a meeting and be screaming at people, Derek.
Okay,
I
I
mean,
tried to
no
calmly do this,
disrespect to
and I don't accept, I'm not at all thinking that you're being disrespectful, but I'm asking you.
I don't know, I just don't think the town needs to be involved in this kind of stuff.
It was the town of Newland versus Derek Roberts, it wasn't the town of Newland, Derek Roberts versus Butch Hughes, it was the town of Newland, and it was the town that supposedly, it was apparently the town of Newland that sicked his attorney on it.
I don't know, Derek, I just don't think this is the way to handle it. This looks bad, do you know that?
I do understand that, Ms. Gill, but and you can ask Jamie, Jamie's right around me every day. I've quietly made phone calls asking this question, and I keep getting told the same thing over and over again. No, this is not how it's supposed to work.
Well, clearly, Derek, it is, because the judge signed the judgment, and the magistrate decided that that judgment was a judgment of the court.
Christie, I apologize, but I'm not gonna take a whole lot of lip off somebody who I paid their water and tax bill for them and won't pay me back.
Not paid on water and tax.
Hey, folks,
Okay.
I don't think this needs to be done right here in this business. It's not the time or place for this.
Then when is it, Kenny? Because I can't seem to get anywhere with you.
We have attorneys to handle such things as this. I'm not gonna tell you what was discussed in closed session.
And nor do I expect you to.
We have attorneys and a town administrator that are working on this problem for us. That's all I can tell you. That's what this, but this arguing back and forth with a board member and stuff like that, that's got to stop. This is not the time and the place for this stuff, you know.
And I asked, what is my time and my place? Did I not, Bill? What is my time and place to get this resolved? Before I started this, what what is my vehicle, I've done what everybody's told me to. That's fine. We have a motion to adjourn, do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, it's time for me to go break. Thank you. What, tell me, what's your name again? Gail. Gail. You got your signature.
Barb, how's wife making the surgery? Feel better? If you need anything, don't call me, I'll take it.
Who's spotting
That's just his work, huh?
Excuse me, Barb.
Yes.
Gerald?
Sir?
Gerald's family doing all right?
Yes, they're doing as well as you could.
Big,
Yes, I mean, yeah.
Church and stuff, Sunday, but I'll be there for the visitation and whatever.
Yeah, they're doing pretty good, all things considered, you know. We all know it. You know, when you get past it, it's a relief.
Yes.
You just have a rough time.
He is, yes. Mr. Billy.
See, I was like 3 minutes.
I
Believe me, I've been in
know.
hospitals. I just don't want to keep my mouth shut.
He is great.
Somebody else said
Yeah. Well,
it. See you.
I don't know if-
Go back to your trailer.
I come to Jesus speaking.
Go back to your trailer.
I know.
I'm here, Gerald.
You just got us.
I know I'll give you a call for the other
Okay,
day.
that's not a problem.
I mean, it shouldn't take us long to figure it out.
Yeah, they give you my email, so I just, but no, I'd rather just talk.
Mr.
Yeah, let's
Billy.
talk.
Yeah.
Mr. Bill Bailey?
Even that discovered on public record. Hi.
I'm Claire Dixon.
Hi, nice to meet you.
You see that town seal?
I do.
My husband designed that.
Really?
I know it's one here. I know
What, in
a
the
lot-
room?
Yeah, in the room.
Okay.
I know all about the
I
town.
know not to argue.
I just wanted, the only point I wanted to make is to make sure that money is spent where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, we can find that out for you, get it.
I mean, things in the past that have happened, you know,
I understand.
have not been kosher.
I
If
understand.
that's the word.
We will get the information
You
for you.
have got
and get it to you.
you've got your work cut out for you, I'll tell you that right now.
It's fine. Little towns need help, and I like to do
Yeah, we
that.
need a lot of help.
I like to do that.
We don't need this going on in the board.
Yeah. It's uncomfortable.
Well, you know,
Yeah.
Oh, you're
if,
fine.
if it was $10,000, I could understand.
Yes. Well, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you, and I'll probably be here again.
I hope so.
I mean, I've missed 3 meetings recently.
Well, yeah, I know. I've been to several, I haven't seen you, so
Well,
hope everything's
I did
okay.
make it. Oh, yeah, everything's okay. I just happened to be with friends that I haven't been seeing quite a while, and.
That's always fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Playing cards.
Playing cards.